Okay. Stream. What we doing, guys? Get cons. Mm. Don't blink, it's your boy Yink. Couple Dirt Show. Hope you guys are doing well. For having a wonderful. I think it's Sunday because of the church bell. It isn't. It is the 20th August 2025. My mom's birthday. So happy birthday, mom. I did it again. You went live when I was offline. Again, this is a comment from World Peace. And dude, I appreciate the fact that you don't take it personal. World Peace is, of course, the greater good, the most important stuff you can still life. But then again, World Peace happened. Um, what is actually cool about this is I was joking yesterday, but when you think about it, the butterfly effect, the snowball effect, the domino effect, right? How everything is kind of related. It's kind of amazing, but I'm glad that you understand the joke. And yeah, super cool. I love joking with people. I love when people are getting the same kind of humor. But hey, world peace, you're a gem. I'm hoping that yourselves. Yes, 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 yes. No, it's really expensive. Am I supposed to answer that? To eat nice. Okay. Now what you're gonna do is count. Don't blink, you should blink. Hold up, Rachel. Doing well for that, having a wonderful day. Is it recording or not? I don't know. Don't blink, you should blink. Hold up, Rachel. Guys are doing well for that, having a wonderful day. Church bell, what's up? Nice weather, what's up? We have a comment from the lovely Tris Tahat or Trista. There's gonna be two comments here. I was gonna refrain myself from saying the first one because I was tired when she commented, and I thought that she said her birthday was that her birthday was today, because I was so tired, and I was like, dude, I'm not. I'm supposed to tell you happy birthday, but it's my mom's birthday. It's my mom's birthday, guys. She's 67 years old, but she looks like a very good 63. Is that a weird thing to say about her own mom? Eh, possibly. Is that the weirdest thing I'm gonna say today? Most likely not. Look at some delicious zero sugar Red Bull. Gonna have a sip. Cause your boy definitely need the caffeine. Nostrovia. What's that? I gotta stand. Red Bull. The zero sugar. It's pretty nice. So today we're answering Gushel, by the way. Okay. So they finished doing the birthday. I was like, dude, you fucking dare. You fucking dare to put yourself first. And it's my mom's birthday, but I thought it was tomorrow. So I gotta feel good. Now, as a nice human being, I will be singing it tomorrow. I will do a random video tomorrow and I saying happy birthday to you. And people will think that, oh yeah, it was his mom's birthday. He mentioned it every single day since the last month, since the 1st of August, right? But the real one will know that it's for Trista. And then it would be super cool for the real one to say, hey, happy birthday, Trista. Because she's a cool kid. She's a cool kid. Now for Prison Break, good show by the way. It is a great show, but it didn't age properly. Like for example, when I was a kid, I was like, oh my god, this is the shit. I'm an adult, I'm like cringe. But then you got the Sucre that is timeless. You got the Abruzzi Gian Abruzzi, which is timeless. You know what show I miss? Dexter. I miss that shit like hardcore, and that is pretty much it. So once again, no happy birthday to you today. However, if you can promise me to watch this video at midnight tonight, I guess I can kind of break the rules. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, Trista. For some reason, this doesn't sound as good as Dumb Like Playing. This is why I drink Red Bull. Very musically. I wish I was in High School Musical, but my bones can't take it. I'm old soul. Dumbling. Dumbling is playing. I'll just look on the show. Then what's that? Dumbling is playing. Conclude the show. That you know, having a wonderful day. If you were 2 minutes earlier, you could have heard bell ring. Now you got a beautiful weather on his 20th of August. Happy birthday, Mom. Featuring Mr. Geroy, the castaway cook. My boy. Brother, you seem like you like adventure. I do. I like Adventure Quest. I like Adventure Time. I like going on an adventure. We should go on a nice fishing trip. Go explore some island. Bro, that would be super cool. You're only 2 hours away from me. It would be awesome, I think. This comment is super nice, super meaningful, but let's take away that I think assert yourself, assert your dominance, assert your opinion, it would be awesome. And technically speaking, I would be super down because you're a good dude. However, I am in a bad financial situation. I am in a bad life situation where I'm constantly looking for stability and I'm not really finding it right. So it would be irresponsible for me to do it right now. However, if you asked me last year, I would have said yes. If you ask me next year, maybe I will say yes. Who knows? But as of right now, bro, try your release. The catfish will have the catfish, the trout, the salmon, the ashigon, the swordfish, the sharks, the lobster, the crabs, the mussel, the clam, the red bull, the this anglefish, these sea urchin, these hold on, I thought I knew more fish than that. These sardines, these crawfish, these I'm gonna be fishing everything, right? If I can get another one, I will be very satisfied with myself. So these hammerhead, but that's again that's a shark. These I wouldn't say dolphin, but dolphins are pretty nice. I don't want to capture a dolphin and kill them. They're pretty nice. We need one more. Pufferfish. There you go. Pufferfish. We'll have one more year on this planet before me and Jay go there and freaking catch 'em all. You heard the song "I've Catch 'em"? I wanna be the very best. And the goal was gotta catch 'em all. You guys got one more year until we come for you guys. So it's a maybe later on, bro. It's not a no. It's not a yes. It's not a maybe never. It's a maybe further on. It's a maybe in the past and maybe in the future. Who knows what life got in store for us, right? Please. You be me and I'll be you. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em all. I wanna be the very best. Like no one is around. Don't blink, Shiba Yink commercial. Zoom Off is having a wonderful day on this 20th August 2025 birthday mom. Today we are starting the day with a video, but also some Red Bull, because why not? It gives me wings. Let me feel it. No wings. This is a video that's addressing a nightmare that I had yesterday. Yes, it's a nightmare. I had a nightmare where I was getting canceled for, and in the dream I remember being canceled. I don't remember why, right? And then I kind of woke up and I'm like, I'm so worried. So instead of running away, I was facing my fear. We came up with your theory of the system. So if you don't mind, let's explore, let's extrapolate, let's have some fun. So the dream was canceled, right? In my defense, I was like, there's people that needs to be canceled more than 90, right? And then those people run away. So here, or get away with it, we see a lot of corruption. We see the thing with the Epstein list. Some people will not be in trouble. Alleged people be in trouble, and alleged trouble, of course. Allegedly, did not want to get sued by a certain person. However, Red Bull, I'm getting sponsored. And it's kind of nice because when I'm sleepy, I get into another plane. I get into another mindset. I get into a different way of thinking. And it's quite out of the box, but it still makes sense. And it's like, why am I getting canceled? Why am I trying to cancel other people? Canceling is a flawed system, right? So when you're trying to cancel somebody because they did something horrible, it's injustice, right? However, if people are forgiven and if people are on PR campaign, and we remember a certain Paul, we're gonna call him Paulo for legal purposes, because he likes to sue, who's scammed his fan, who is then selling a certain product that is kind of not healthy, right? And we forgive people like that. We forgive them. We forgive them. We forgive them. So the cancellation system, which is actually a justice system, isn't a justice system because justice isn't done. So then it becomes a belief system, and that's the thing with belief. As long as you do something you feel justified, we want to tell you that's not good. I was hungry, I stole, and then you say, why did you steal? Well, I got a kid at home that's hungry. Like, oh, okay, yeah, I understand. If I was stealing, not good. But if I steal from a kid that's hungry, it's more acceptable, right? But the belief system is a kid is more worthy of being fed than an adult, right? Which doesn't really work in a simple fashion. So if you think that the justice system is actually a belief system, then belief can be manipulated. A certain book can be changed, a certain priest, imam, um, rabbi could say something that could be interpreted in another way, which changes your very core belief. For example, your parents were very religious, right? And this is gonna make sense in a bit. Give me the chance to explain. Parents were very religious, but your parents also had greed. For example, yesterday we played the Benjamin Isaac, and the mother, she's super religious, but then she hurts herself and then she becomes addicted to painkillers. So in this case, she chooses to find one of the deadly sin and she chooses to accept it, right? So the system of belief is like, okay, well, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad. This is acceptable, but this is bad. But everybody else tells you that it's bad. So as a kid that don't have a general belief system, doesn't have this important thing called critical thinking. I am giving information, therefore, ergo, in lieu of uh, little friends. I made my own opinion about what's good and what's bad, right? After something that happened, I felt bad about it, I felt good about it. This is my belief system, right? And when you can manipulate a system of belief, you can manipulate a system of justice, right? Because I believe that this is a crime. I believe that this is punishable. I believe that you should cancel or you shouldn't be canceled, right? I was watching a documentary, Steve Jobs, last week, and there was this guy, right? And he was selling his company to Steve Jobs, that was behind Apple. And Steve was like, "Yo, I don't want to pay that much for your company." And the guy was like, "Yeah, but your company agreed to pay that much." And he said, "You're gonna sell it for less." And then the guy said, "What?" He said, "No, I'm not gonna sell it for you." He said, "Let's see how your company values after we take out the ads from the Apple store, from the Apple, and there was depreciation. We saw Cristiano Ronaldo who refused to drink Coca-Cola, and Coca-Cola lost a lot of action. They lost a lot of money the next day. So they were like, okay, well, this is a direct causal impact. Cristiano Ronaldo, right? The belief system of I want to emulate somebody, want to emulate a priest, a pious person, a God, the teaching of God, right? I want to emulate a authoritative perception, and now with social media, I want to emulate a social media content creator because I like him and he's a role model to me. He, she, they, them, whatever you want to call it, right? So the belief system is manipulated, right? And you can manipulate the belief system. You can actually believe the justice system because the justice system relies upon law and orders. Who made the law? People, right? People. Who made order? What is the order to begin with? It's balance, right? Criminality versus good people. Law-abiding citizen, non-abiding citizen, right? And that is the order. Maintaining the order, maintaining the balance, maintaining the protective services for people. When you understand how the justice works, you can vary against. See, you get arrested for something. You don't know the law, right? And they weren't right to arrest you. Because they arrested you, they found something in the car. I don't drive, so that's not me. And now you're persecuted. If you knew the law better, you would be like, yo, this warrant that you got, this searching the car, wasn't permitted by law. What you did was unlawful because your action was unlawful. Mine weren't. My actions to begin with were unlawful. You don't right or wrong, you're wrong. You right or wrong or right, right? This is the justice system. And it's not a justice system, it's a belief system. Believing people in power. No matter how much media are controlled, no matter how every single reporter is fed information, right? When the last time you watched the news? When the last time you searched for something on the internet? When the last time you did a second search to make sure that the information that you had was right? Everything is controlled. Every single information that you're given is controlled. Why? To make you believe. Once they have you in the belief system, you'll believe everything that you're saying. You look at countries like North Korea, right? And right now what they're doing is dictatorship. But this is amazing because they're changing this education system, right? So now they're being forced into this education system that is authoritarian or totalitarian. And they'll tell you some things like 1 + 1 = 1, which is actually true. You can find interviews about that. And then why? Because Kim Jong something, I'm not gonna say who, that way if this video was to serve as a proof, like I said, no, I didn't mean, I meant another Kim Jong, which is possibly a couple, right? If I'm lucky, if I'm not lucky, I'm fucked and I'm in jail. But again, the belief system, I believe that I have a right to opinion, and I believe that I have the right to exercise this opinion, which is my Fifth Amendment, even though I'm not American, right? See, it goes crazy, it goes insane, right? And then you figure out that if you had one drop of water, another drop of water, you create one big drop of water. Therefore, henceforth, 1 + 1 = 1, right? Now, I need to convince one generation. So if you can do that, the generation will have kids. And those kids will be taught what their parents were taught. And then those kids will teach their kids what those parents were taught. Right? Yeah. And then we'll start believing. And then when people tell us the truth, we won't believe it because this has been the truth for generation, right? For generation. You know the true ending of the Lord of the Rings? True ending. Generation after generation, generation after generation. And the only people alive are the human. And we have no proof that the elves even existed, the dwarves even existed, the hobbit even existed. Right? They believe that our fate. How much of the information have we lost? We had information, we had the knowledge of creating pyramids. We lost that. Because of a system of belief that want people to be dumb. like in medieval age, you couldn't read, you couldn't write if you were a peasant. You had to be nobility, aka you had access to information that other people didn't, which is ruling through information, ruling through knowledge. And now we bring it in an example that is kind of more current. Attack on Titans. If you know the truth with Attack on Titans, it's a show. And now I'm going to the extreme, which makes the whole thing moot. And if that doesn't convince you, if you're not already convinced, then me changing subject will not convince you more. You have the system where they're reliant on the Titan to create the wall and protect them from other Titans. This is knowledge that's forbidden. The knowledge is forbidden, nobody knows. Everybody's afraid. So through that fear, they control the peasant. Through the fear, they control the citizen. Through the fear, they make you obey. Through belief, they make you obey. That's a problem. Let's get to that.
What happened to you?
Don't blink your boy. Welcome to another video, welcome to another show. It's been well on this 20th of August 25. Happy birthday, mom. Today we're doing an intro. So we woke up later. I love doing this intro at 9 o'clock because this is truly when you should start making a intro. We woke up a bit later because it was raining, so kind of a shit weather. It was supposed to be raining the whole day. It's not, which is good because we'll be able to have access to the concert, which I'm kind of excited about. I'm excited to go to the concert. Could be nice. So on that, today, my whole day is gonna be reliant on the concert. It's gonna be based on the concert. So we have a bunch of things to do. We have a bunch of videos to film, but it's not that much. We got about 4 videos to do. Then there'll be prison break. Then I'm gonna take a break and stream. And make some more videos. Take a break and stream. And then, if I'm lucky enough, I'll be able to get to the show. So we're talking at 8 o'clock because that's the time we went at 8 o'clock. So let's not make the same mistake twice. Apart from that, it's gonna be a very boring day. There's not gonna be a mukbang because bought some junk food. So there's that. Not gonna be a mukbang because we're busy. It's gonna be a boring day. We're gonna make it interesting because at the same time, we always have boring days. It's up to us to make it interesting. Anyway, very, very boring intro. There's not that much to say, but hey, I love you guys. Take it easy. Peace. Don't blink if you're blinding. Welcome to the show. Because we're having a wonderful day on this 20th of August 2025. I've been watching the channel for a bit, that's my mom birthday today. So let's wish her a happy birthday first of all. Happy birthday, mom. Happy birthday to my mom. Happy birthday, my mom. Now, why is this important thing? Because I wanted to make a special video for her about the amazing luck that I have to have a mom like that. I want to do a video that really paid her homage. I want to do a video that really shows her that she is appreciated and loved. My mom is a immigrant that came here with nothing. She came here with her mom. Her mom did a pretty good job. Um, she built her life around, but she still has a longing heart towards Egypt. My mom would be living in Egypt if it wasn't for me. But because she has me and she wants to stay close to me, she lives in Montreal. So I'm super grateful for that. But again, it's a sacrifice. You see, I got a lot of friends that are kids of immigrants. My mom was too young to build her life. So her mother, which we met, which we never met, but went to see at the graveyard, made a lot of sacrifices for her. And then thanks to that, she was able to have a normal life here. Where she met my father, that became a not normal life. Where she had me as a kid, that became a very not normal life, but most of the time, normal life. My mom. My mom is a story of hard work, sacrifices, being kind. My mom is the perfect picture of. And as a kid, I had a hard time understanding the strength it took, but now I understand. Of kindness. And to me, it always felt weird because she was kind to people, and then at home she was pissed. She was like, "Oh, I don't like this person. I don't like this person." And in my head as a kid, I didn't understand why you were nice to them. But then it sacrifices because it doesn't matter how they act. It matters how you act. It doesn't matter the action. It doesn't matter the reaction. Your action matters. Your reaction matters. That you're a model citizen. It's not reliant on how other people act. Even if you're the only good person and they freaking a whole building, you're the only good person and you can sleep easy, right? My mom also um, broke up with my father because she saw him as being too strict. My mom has always been the more lenient parents. My mom who was able to admit that she couldn't help me a lot. So with school, and she couldn't help me a lot. So she had me tutor. She was the most authoritative parent. So she had to send me to a military school to learn Timbuktu. Thank God she didn't, because I would have been. My apologies. My mom would keep making sacrifices. She knew how much I love KFC, so she would eat bread because she couldn't afford KFC. Sacrifices. And again, I will say, and I used to say, and I still say, I didn't ask you for that. So you made that sacrifice by your own choices. It doesn't matter if it was your own choices. It matters if I ask her, can I please have some fried chicken? All that matters was that she decided I was more important than her. And I think this action is more telling than anything else. And I have to be thankful for that. I have to be thankful for the sacrifice that she did. Even if it wasn't needed, even if it wasn't something that she should do, you shouldn't have sacrificed as much as she did. Um, and it's just brilliant, you know. It's just brilliant. It's just brilliant. Lately, me and my mom have been fighting a lot because we've been fighting a lot because I have this boss, right? And this boss is more so of a authoritarian, right? So he's gonna put himself first in a lot of cases. He is gonna be pushing his ideal upon other people, and if you don't follow, it's kind of. And of course, he's my boss, so I think this is normal. But at the same time, it's weird because, you know, he's an agency worker. I'm not working for him. I'm working for him, but I'm working for another company. It's just I feel like he pushes himself first. He puts his interest before anybody else, and it is normal. But at the same time, I'm like, dude, you're not even in the place. You don't care. You care about me going in and me going out because then I make a salary. I make a salary, you make your paycheck. We got fired from a job because one person out of eight was stealing. One person out of eight was stealing, and we got fired. I told the guy who was stealing because I'm like, dude, I love this job and I need this job. Like, I got bills to pay, I got rent to pay. Did I snitch on the guy? Yes. You know why? Because this guy didn't care about seven other people that were gonna be losing their job. Seven other people that weren't stealing. He said, F those guys, I'm gonna be stealing. And I was stealing. And my mom, she kept pushing me to call the employer that they protect us. And the employer, which is the agency rep, um, in what situation, right? And decide to inaction, to not act on it. And because he decided not to act on it, then everybody got punished. You could have stopped that. You could have said, you know what, I'm sorry, you're not going to be working for us. We're another guy. And then the company, I love it so much that I went to give out the CV. And I'm like, hey, I don't work for the agency anymore. And you know, and then this boss from the Soviet company called my agency rep and said, hey, uh, is Stefan a good employee? And I'm like, and he said, no, Stefan is still working for me for this company, which wasn't true. So he lied about me working for a company. That way I wouldn't work for somebody else than him. I'm gonna cut my salary. And my mom kept pushing me in this place, you know? And she kept pushing me towards him. And I saw this as weakness. I saw this as, what the hell are you doing, mom? But now, in insight, you understand. You understand that it takes more strength to step on your pride and say, hey, I know that the situation is not perfect, but I need a job. You got a job for me. Please let me work. And it kills you to do that. I got bills to pay, you know? And if I have to do that, then I have to do that. Doesn't matter my feeling, doesn't matter my pride, doesn't matter my ego, doesn't matter what I think is right, what I think is wrong. It's about paying the bills, surviving in this world. We need money to survive, you know? The fact that she never doubted that, the fact that she never had a problem with that, a strength. A strength. It's a lot of strength. My mom was to deal with a lot, you know? A lot of stress. She doesn't handle stress lots. But she did, she does her best, and I think that's more valuable. She's gonna be the first to confront a situation. Versus my father, who was a bit more in charge. My father was a bit more a problem solver, you know. My father will avoid situation. I had court. I had my governmental debt where they said I was owing $13,000. My mom kept fighting for the fact that no, he doesn't owe the money. And then we won. And my father didn't care about it. My father didn't talk about this. And my mom was more willing to help even though she knew less about government. I was working in taxes. That takes a strong woman. My mom, who still works at 67, and she uses the excuse of she's bored, but I know that she's trying to help. She's trying to leave me something behind. My mom, who was in a relationship that didn't work, and at 58 years old, had to buy a freaking condo with money that she didn't have. Why? Because she wanted a safe place for me and for her. That is lot of strength. My mom is an extremely loving person, extremely nice person. And see, my mom is another person that she gets wrong, because if you wrong her, you're out of the life. And you want to tell her, mom, it's okay, it's like a little fight. Don't worry about it. But then she's right. She brings the cloth to the table. And if you're not acceptant, or if you're not able to say you're obviously a person that should treat them well, fuck you, you know? My mom was a fighter. She's a fighter. She'll go to the store, and she'll be like a Karen. She'll be complaining. She'll be a very tough parent to have. However, she's a really good person, and she doesn't complain about herself. For example, went to McDonald's not too long ago. She ordered protein. There was no forks, and she was so. This is a beautiful moment. She was so mad. She came today to the cashier and said, "You gave my son a protein, but you didn't give him a fork," and she gives shit to the person. And then she comes back to the table and she realizes that she doesn't have a fork either. And then she tells me, Steph, I can't go back because I gave shit to the girl. you know, you know. My mom was super funny. There was a AEW worker. I used to work there too, so I can talk shit. And she was very rude. And my mom's like, I work here. I want to see your manager. And the girl said yes. Then I thought it was funny because my mom is 4'11", and she has like a lot of voices, a big tone, Oh, wedding, and it's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing because I called her. And then she started laughing and said, "What's up?" I said, "I want to complain to the manager, but she's a manager." I'm like, oh fuck, She's an amazing person. She suffered a lot, She went through a lot. And usually, that's alright. There's sentence, right? When life gets tough, the tougher keep going. But then there's even better than that. When the tough gets tough, you see true people, their true intention, their true faces. And my mom, she's still nice. A lot of people would have gave up. You see me being nice. I didn't ask my father, I didn't ask my mom, She's a wonderful human being. She's okay with being single. She's okay with staying in Montreal. She could live the life that she wants. She could live the life that she dreams. She chooses self-sacrifices on a daily basis. Why? Because she thinks it's the right choice. She makes a lot of sacrifices, right? For example, with the agency tech, I called her on last Saturday. The day, by the way, is Wednesday, and we had a fight because I was like, "Oh," she said, "keep talking to him, keep asking him for help." I'm like, "No, mom, he's an asshole. I don't want to talk to him." And then we hung up because the fight. I let the dust fall, and then yesterday she called me. She said, "Hey, did you talk to the agency rep?" It's tough. It's tough because I want to make her happy. Just this guy's such a piece of shit. This guy's such a piece of shit. Like I went to tell him that somebody stole, right? They said that the person who stole, I snitched. Yeah, I snitched. I don't give a fuck. I snitched. And the guy, the boss, said, "Don't forget who pays your bill." And I asked him, "What you mean?" Like, you don't work for the company, you work for me. So you follow my orders. I'm like, the guy's stealing. You're allowing that. But hey, that's life. So anyway, I love you guys. I love my mom a lot. She's such a kind person. She's such a good human being. I am lucky to have the parent that I have. Extremely lucky. And when I say my mom, I say the jackpot. Anyway, I love you guys. Take it easy. Peace. Happy birthday, mom.
What you said? Surf.
Fuck. Time to do the break thing. Not exciting. Darling, guess you're going to a couple show. Being off to having a wonderful day on this glorious 20th of August 2025. As you can see, we got the prison break ready. Before that, happy birthday, mom. I love you. Enjoy your 67th birthday. I got a mustache, and it's been sticking in my nose for a while, and it's so freaking annoying. So, guys, I want to do this the most possible because I want to watch some prison break today. Maybe shooting the whole day, so I think I'll listen to it a little bit. You know. Without further ado, we have a man. I don't know how you say old drummer. A different man. Teabag lose a slave. a slave, and look at another one during this time. The retrograde. What? Oh yeah, Bruce is losing power in the hierarchy, and it puts the plan in danger. So this is a very very tough. Uh, because again, at this point we're at 3 days, so it's kind of why I want to do it a bit more. We've been doing 20 minutes of videos, not more than that. We've been doing for what? We've been doing 44 minutes of content, so I'm a bit behind, as they say. The lighting is kind of good, so you don't have to worry about that. We got uh, we got the intro, okay? So we have T-Bag and Michael. Um, I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember this, but I don't remember the scene. But what I do know is that the sexual slave. That's I think what this what they meant. Of T-Bag goes to Michael and say, "Please help me out. Please, I beg you, help me out." Right? And then Michael said, I'm not getting involved. I'm not getting in between that." So that sucks because Michael had a chance to defend a guy, and the guy because he didn't defend him, he's unaliving himself. So Michael will feel responsible for it, which ultimately speaking is great because we're gonna have another prisoner called Tweener. We're gonna ask Michael the same thing, and Michael because he already let somebody died, will not allow Tweener to die. So that's actually pretty cool. But the Pope is worried about Lincoln because Lincoln is being irrational. See, the reality is Lincoln doesn't cause trouble. Lincoln is a friend of the guards, is a friend of the Godfather in jail. Now Lincoln in itself is what you call it. So it's not directly said in the show, but it's more so the politics behind it. Oh, get this. I got it there. It's the tower. And I didn't even check the deal that they said what they're saying. I just got the update. After they both Plastina. Just the champion. I think I can reach high using this PF. I forgot to do this. I forgot to write this info on Ask Mohammed. Yeah, my neighbors. Yeah, this is just like the last thing. I'm not so excited to do some Prison Break recap. Such a long show. Take a break from it after that. But so Lincoln is a high-profile prisoner. So there's a lot of reporter coming around, and there's a lot of people that are asking about him. The second he start making trouble, he's gonna be known, and the police will be losing credibility. See, the prison is all about keeping up the fact that everybody's okay. For example, we know that Balak is looking for the guy who killed Bob, right? And we know that last episode, he was giving the wrong guy. So is that gonna be enough or not? You know. So we have this is super 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 nice because we have the guys working on it, right? And it's kind of crazy because they're destroying the country, right? And they don't know where to hide it. So what they're doing is they hide it in the grass, they hide it in the wall. It's actually pretty nice because they have to go down a whole couple of yards, I guess, couple of inches. Um, Now we have the new inmates, and this is fun because this is gonna be one of the important ones. Now on paper, this is amazing. This is Tweener. This guy is Tweener. He's gonna be important. And Tweener is actually a very sad character in the show and in real life. After he did Prison Break, he kind of partied too hard and he got to jail for drinking and driving. So yeah, so pretty sad, pretty freaking sad. And nothing ever worked in the industry again. So why is that important? Okay, well, what's important in it here is that Michael kind of how can I say that? Michael, um, okay, let's put it like that. Michael could be seen as a genius, could be seen or as a guy that planned everything. I think somebody that plans a lot is a genius in most cases. I think that a guy that's a genius is able to plan on the spot. So, which we are, right? So, Tweener is gonna be his thief, right? And Michael is never really needing him until he needs him. And Tweener can be used. However, Tweener is such a sad character. Such a character. So Tweener says, yo, we're a new guy, we're new blood. We see that freaking teabag is already on it. And he's smelling like a food. So the importance is in the long run, if you have to read between the pages, if you had to analyze the situation, right? Teabag is a bad guy, right? And Michael is he doesn't care about Teabag being a bad guy. He doesn't care as long as it doesn't involve him. He doesn't care. But then there's so much that he can do, and so much he can do, so much he can do. And Michael's like, okay, well, you're a really bad person, right? And the craziest thing is, uh, Abruzzi, and this is what I love. This is seriously something I love. Teabag gets better at the end, but it takes a long time, and by the time that you see the character get better, you either give up on the character or it's not as important as it used to be. So in this case, we got a character. Um, for example, Abruzzi. It's like Tina's not coming with us. Suple is like Suple. He said not coming back with us. Lincoln says he's not going back with us. So everybody is saying Teabag doesn't belong with us. Now, there's a possibility that it's because he's racist, possibility that it's because he's a rapist, but I think it's because Abruzzi sees himself as lesser of a criminal than he is. Supre, you get the backstory, it's sad. It's really sad. It's really, really sad. You get the backstory of Lincoln when she was framed. It's really sad. You get the backstory of Abruzzi. Abruzzi is not really that sad because you took advantage of it. However, there's even a part in this one. You know, Michael wants to protect the witness because the witness isn't a gangster. The witness was an employee that was at the right time at the wrong place. So it's like I don't want to kill him. He didn't do anything wrong. And if I kill him, I kill an innocent guy. You know, versus killing Mafioso. We got more of Lincoln and the plan, which is kind of important. Get more of LJ being a homeless person. And LJ is kind of dumb because he still has this, what should we call it? He still has this phone, right? And if you drop the phone, you could do it. But yeah, the picture on the phone, and the phone is important. And now we got Veronica getting some food. Now this is a very important scene. So what she do is she goes to the cupboard and she finds two guns on the wall. Two guns. And now she said, okay, well, there's two guns. Later on, LJ's gonna follow them and LJ's gonna find the gun and LJ's gonna be choosing to use them. So we're putting guns there as a case of Veronica didn't use it. We're also putting them there as saying they're available for other use, you know? I think that's kind of nice. However, there's two guns and LJ only needs one. So that's also a mess. Um, it's a sad thing because Sooner is looking for the it's a sad thing. It's a sad thing because Sooner is part of a big plot. So Twitter goes to see CPAT. Again, we like CPAT, so it's cool that he goes to him. And then CPAT tells him, hey, white kid, go back to your race. Right? And T-Bag is like, this guy sees a difference. This is such a great writing. See, they're confused about this pigmentation, meaning something with the white leaves with the blacks. Now, the reason why T-Bag is doing that is for the other races to hate Wheeler. And for him to protect Wheeler from the hate that he caused himself. Kind of insane, right? So yeah, so we got Abruzzi, and Abruzzi is having a big problem. So Abruzzi, this is, as much as I say the show is a good show, this is a mistake that they made. They don't picture a clear, they don't do a good enough job at picturing a clear organization setup. We know that Abruzzi is important, but we don't know how important. That Abruzzi has power, but we don't know how much power he has. We know that he's part of the organization, but we don't know to what degree. And this is a big problem. Why? It's a big problem because you need to establish that. So, for example, when Bellic comes in this scene and tells John, we have a problem. And John's like, what? There's no money in my paycheck. So we learn that Bellic is corrupted. And the reason, okay, so it's kind of complex. The reason why John had control over PI was because he was putting money in those accounts, right? Now the person that's behind it, they're not putting the money in the account anymore. So this means what? This means that uh, John is not as useful. Now here lies the problem. The plan is dependent on John. The plan isn't dependent on Sucre. The plan isn't dependent on T-Mac. The plan isn't even dependent on Lincoln. If I can get Lincoln out, I'm gonna get him out, but it's not dependent on him. The only one that's important is Abruzzi and because the two characters is important, but right now there's only two. The two characters that are important are Abruzzi, Michael, and DB. So DB needs to have the money. Abruzzi, the reason why we need Abruzzi is he has a private plane, and as criminals you can leave for other countries, and then you go into the whole law of extradition. For example, I'm a criminal in the U.S. However, I can be prosecuted for crime I committed in another country. I go to Mexico, right? We're saying. Copy. So we got a Falzone. Falzone is what? Falzone is another member of the organization. Here is the problem. We don't know if Falzone is ranking higher than Abruzzi. Now, there's also a possibility. There's also a possibility that when he was in jail, Abruzzi was very powerful. And now, because he's in jail, he's losing power, he's losing power, he's losing power, he's losing power, he's losing power. And then a character like Falzone comes in and is like, you know what? There's a free place in the hierarchy. There's a free place out there, let me take it. That could also be the case. Oh my apologies. Business, you know, showing your face again, and we got Nick Veronica. Once again, it's so boring when you know that he's a traitor, because every single thing that Nick does is a case of. It's a case of what you call it. It's a case of slowing down Veronica, and that sucks. Because if you do it once, it's okay. If you do it twice, it's okay. If you do it for a whole season, it's bad. And you have to do it for the first season. Good next scene, which is again a brilliant. There's a guard and the secretary for um there's a guard and secretary for what we call it. Um there's a guard and secretary for Pope, and they're kind of having an affair. So he goes to the PI, which again shows how bad their plan is. But it's a good thing because by realizing how final the plan is, they'll fix it a little bit. So when the PI crew comes in, because John will lose the power of the PI. So, for example, how exposed the plan is versus it's complex. The plan is very exposed because we have the guards necessary. They do a better job at protecting or hiding the plan. So when the next PI crew comes in, you don't know what they're doing. So John talks to his accountant and he asks how much money is there. And the accountant's like Falzone took out everything. He took out everything. Every single piece of money that was there is out. Every single piece. Now, he said there's money for your wife. And Abruzzi is like, no, that's hers. So when you read between the lines, this is also important because Falzone seized all the asset that was in John's name, not the wife. So he's directly going after John, not his wife, not his kid. So Falzone comes in and he talks with one of the people from the Abruzzi crew. And the Abruzzi crew and it's like, yo, you're in charge right now. But Sarah was doing more research on Sarah was doing more research on Schofield. You have Abruzzi who's trying to see his whole crew and say, hey, I'm in charge here. And then the guy says, no, you're not in charge. And then he sends Abruzzi old goon to attack him, which is kind of cool. I get it. Next time, be right back. Oh, dude. Don't feel good, bro. Don't feel good. So yeah, so John is like, yo, and the craziest thing is, John did a bad move here. So by showing this, you know that he's not protected. So people that wouldn't go after John will now go after John. It's hard to see. LJ is being followed, and LJ is every single time that he's trying to use the phone in trouble. Um, I love this scene because Link convinced the guard to let him call. And how does he convince him? It's like, oh, this is my son. You have a son too. You know what I'm going through. So they're showing a very human side to the Guardian, to the prison guards. We have a old scene of Killer Man going after AJ, but then AJ gets away. But it's kind of like a cool thing because without AJ, you don't have any proof of what he's saying. They've got Veronica and Nick who were trying to get help from higher up. It doesn't really work. But Tweener was in a bad position. Veronica and Nick getting into a more influential is they have some proof, and it's saying is it enough to find out if Lincoln is not guilty? The whole thing, why I don't like the Veronica and Nick segments, you can see that I don't like them. It's kind of easy. The first of all is that Nick and Veronica is constantly a game of cat and mouse. The cat is Nick, the mouse is Veronica. And they keep chasing around in circle and circle and circle and circle until it becomes pointless. However, Veronica as a lawyer, she's a lawyer, so she's supposed to present good. And she chooses to use a conspiracy to free her ex-husband versus actually saying, yo, this is bad, this should be stopped, you know? This is kind of disgusting. But Tweener comes in, and it's one of the best scenes. One of the best freaking scenes. Because T-Bag goes in, and T-Bag is like, you think? Yeah, nice. Nice, 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 nice. I love this. I love this. Okay, so Tweener is being pushed by everybody. He's almost getting, and then T-Bag comes in, and T-Bag protects him, and T-Bag puts his hand on his legs, and Tweener's like, back off, you H word, the Omo, and he said, I'm gonna fuck you up, which I think is kind of cool because T-Bag would fuck you up, dude. You're crazy. But at the same time, you said for yourself, it's nice. Then they go back to jail, and Michael see T-Bag taunting Tweener. Like, leave that kid alone. And this is when you start seeing that Michael is worried, or at least, see, it's complex because does he think that it's kind of complex? Does he think of himself as a older brother to people, a protective fashion? For example, a Lincoln via Michael, right? Could have been. It's insane because you see that. Or does he think that T-Bag is going too far? And if T-Bag is going too far, that could be it. So we learned that Michael is suffering from low inhibition. So low inhibition is often seen with people that have not the best intelligence, right? But so it's kind of super. This is one of the important scenes too. Veronica, no, so sorry, Sarah goes in and see Michael X shrink, and he says, okay, well, Michael has a desire to help people, blah 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 blah. It's kind of crazy, and him, he has to, he's obsessed. Trusting the one who wants to help Lincoln, which explains that, which is cool. And he's also saying that Michael is a genius because he has something called a low inhibition. So low inhibition is something that's seen a lot of people that have low IQ. But if it's somebody with an high IQ, it ends up being almost every single time a genius. This is kind of important. It's gonna be very important actually. We're gonna see for T-Bag who is intimidating Tweener, and Michael who is reacting negatively, which is great. Um, you got a cool, very cool scene between LJ and Veronica. So what you realize is they're able to track him because every single time they use his phone, they're able to track the phone. So they're able to hear what he says. Now the cool thing is Veronica knows that. Maybe I think Nick knows that and he tells Veronica, but it doesn't matter. So then what happened is they tell him, hey, come here, we're in this place. Then we're in another place, and then she texts him and she's like, yo, we're really here, go in. and they're saying they're tracking your phone. So then what LG does at the end of the episode, he's going to the place. He leaves his phone in the bus. So they go to the phone, but he's already gone, which I think is actually pretty nice. But Abruzzi, who's taking out on the old guy. So what he's trying to do here is he's trying to intimidate the old guy. The old guy doesn't matter. More of teabag, bullying the what should I call it? Bullying the tweener, I guess. But Sarah and Michael are having a talk. And it's sad because Sarah's like, "Yo, I researched your file, and it's supposed to be an endearing scene, but it's not well acted. It's because it's not endearing. It's like always like, dude, you're a bit too invested, which again shows that how much she loves him and how much she cares about him. You know, we got this scene like I told you, Letterman, which is actually quite nice. We got a very cool scene at the end where LJ sent a secret message to Lincoln, and she sent him, "Hey, it's LJ. I'm with Veronica. I love you." That's cool because that's what's keeping Lincoln mentally sane. And we need Lincoln because Lincoln is more emotional than Michael. You know, and he's as important as Michael. So then everybody's pushing T-Bag around because first of all they don't like him. Second of all, he's a bully. So then they push him around, and then he said, if you don't include me in your plan, we're gonna have a problem. We're gonna have a big problem. There's a couple of good things here. It's actually a really good show. This show, at the end, is cringe, but it's actually a really, really nice moment. I'm just gonna quit that because I don't want to get the 4,500. Yes, I could have gotten it though. Milestone. Oh, Schnitzel. What? I didn't have it. Oh, that's disgusting. That is disgusting. Can get a lot of skins. We'll go back to the skin. Aha. Okay. So 10. Good. Good. Okay, perfect. So, we got Teabag who's going to Tweener, and he comes in, it's like, yo, uh, we leave Tweeners alone, which is Michael, what is his vibe. You got a scene between Abuchi and Balak. Balak tells him, you're not in charge anymore, John. Get over it. And we have a new PI team. And the new PI team is led by this guy who John just insulted. So now John is not going to be able to have a friendship, a friendly relationship with. Next episode, season 1, episode 10, Lost Cause. To regain the control of the band and restore the chance for evasion, Abruzzi is convinced Michael to tell Falzone where it is Fibonacci. So you can see that John is in a very bad position because people are trying to aim at him. Ultimately speaking, this is not said in the show. This is really the problem. So you see that John was an influential person in prison, right? Until he lost influence